What is up, YouTube land? We're back.
We're back. And we're probably not going to finish this game tonight, but we're going to do one more mission.
That's okay, because, you know, it's about the journey, not the destination, you know what I'm saying?
This game is comfy-ish.
Unless the destination's like Taco Bell, in which case it is about the destination.
We are looking forward to your... If you do not comply, I will need to contact local...
Rip.
Watch out! The people are coming.
I like how you can just do Ripper mode now.
The big thing with Ripper mode is that it just... You can dislocate or rip apart enemies without going to the Zandatsu mode.
Oh, that's cool. That saves time. Is Ripper mode like Devil Trigger where you have to like save up for it?
Yeah, it takes your bar, the same bar that you use for like Zandatsu mode and stuff, so it's sort of a double-edged sword kind of thing.
Let's go!
Yeah, so we're gonna do the Sundowner mission. I probably could have finished tonight, but the way I practiced this game was I was working a couple Saturdays with Spencer and I was just practicing it there. So my save file was at the store.
Oh
and,
no!
It was either go to the store to grab the save file, and I didn't feel like doing that. But I did practice this mission like a week or two ago, so we should be good. Although this mission is kind of hard.
Yeah, it's funny. I guess you have the save on this one at my house, and then the save on the one at the store.
Yeah, at no point have I played this at like my actual house. And my life is going great right now. Basically, I've been renting a house for about 5 years now, and a week ago, Wolf & Klein, our renter company, called and was like, yeah, the owner's selling the house. You have 60 days to move. Good luck.
In like the worst time possible.
Yeah, everything is so expensive. We're looking at places that are more expensive rent-wise and are way worse than the house that we're at. And, yeah, it's great. I mean, I'm sure the owner's happy because this house is probably worth $100,000 more than what he spent just 5 years ago. But, yeah, it's pretty stressful and I hate it.
That's why we need Metal Gear and Guitar Hero, you know what I'm saying?
That's cool. I like the guardrail right there.
Classic.
This part's pretty weird. I don't think you do this any other time.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is for something that's like quite literally all about the hand-to-hand kind of stuff. It is interesting that all of a sudden it's like, get in this turret. Although, you know, other games do it. Resident Evil 5 had it, and...
I mean, as you can see, even though this game is pretty short, you can kind of see that it gets monotonous with just, I don't know, the combat is flashy and it feels nice, but it's not a lot of depth to it.
Well, I think all action-y games like this, they have like a limit of how long they can be. Even God of War, and I like the older God of Wars more than like the open world one, but even those, like, they can only be a certain length, you know? Or they have to have like many varied type of things, and you gotta have like brief moments of like nothing, just to kind of like give you like a chance to chill. And this game has like no moments of nothing. Like, it's just battle to battle, in my opinion. It's like,
yeah, and there's just
constant.
There's so little enemy variety too. It's just like grunts with a certain amount of armor, or mechs that aren't that fun to fight against. I don't know. I like this game, but I'm glad that it's only an hour or two more.
I honestly cannot believe we haven't met the Senator yet. Like, officially met him.
Yeah, I skipped the cutscenes when I was doing this, so I'm not sure if... why is this part going so long? Am I supposed to leave now?
Yeah, he said get in the elevator.
Was not paying attention, sorry.
I legitimately thought the Senator was, like, the main bad guy the whole time, for how much stuff I saw of him.
I mean, he is the main bad guy, but it's just one of those things where he, like... They tease him a little bit, but they really save him for the end.
Yeah.
Research are restricted to the upper levels.
Kind of like Solidus.
Brains in the server room will be up top.
Remember?
But that elevator
Even Solidus, you see
the lower floor.
a fair amount.
I guess that's
Need to
true,
get to
yeah.
the 20th floor and pass the security gate they have.
I mean, you do the hind fight when he's in the helicopter, so you fight him twice.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that is the problem. Security cyborgs will not have sufficient...
Brother!
Managers and senior staff have already been evacuated.
Yeah, MGS2 is pretty weird. Solidus is like, I mean, he's the final boss, but since the Patriots just they steal the spotlight in the final 20%, so like by the time you're fighting Solidus again, you're like, oh yeah, this guy.
I'm gonna be honest, I kind of forget who the Patriots are. Like, I know it was, what's his name?
I mean,
Zero.
you have the Patriots founders, but at the point of MGS2, all of them are dead, and it's just an AI thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's like the very last thing they say at the last
Yeah,
cutscene.
they're like, we have the list of all the Patriots, but they're all dead.
But I thought Zero was a Patriot. Or was he the one who started it?
He is a Patriot, but I mean, he shows up at the end of MGS4, but I don't know. Who knows anything about MGS?
I know, but I was just thinking out loud. I was like, wait a minute. They're not all dead, I guess.
Yeah, Zero's alive, but he's like in a vegetative state. I don't know if he's in the vegetative state by MGS2.
Yeah, yeah.
There should be an electrical panel nearby. Use your enhanced AR to locate it.
You still have to do that?
What?
That you still have to do the Zenzatsu or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Ripper mode is nice if you're fighting against... It's really good if you're fighting against, like, medium-hard enemies. But it's not super useful against the really small grunts. And since it uses the same bar as Zendatsu, you have to sort of decide between using Ripper mode and wanting to restore your health with the Zendatsu, so...
I like how I haven't had an LP game for like... What the heck? Oh.
I just don't care.
I like how I haven't had an LP game for like 2 months. And that's... I'm not blaming Trevor, of course. I just like haven't like had anything that I'm like...
Yeah, that's sort of why I started
There should be an electrical
RGH LPs, because it's something both of us can do.
Yeah.
But I knew you were working on your book, finishing it up, and I don't know. Once we're done with World Tour, we might take a break. You can do an LP game if you want.
Maybe I will. It's like all the ones I want to do end up like I've been playing this game called Black Mirror, which is like a Sherlock Holmesy type like low budget PS4 game. And I'm like, oh, that would be fun. But then like there's so many. Like honestly, there's a lot of thought that goes into us doing Let's Play games, like which ones, except for Let's Tries. That's fine. We can do anything for those. But, like, the loading screens on this game, it's a PS4 game, are, like, unbelievable. Like, literally every loading screen takes, like, 15 seconds. And that alone is, like, even if I had the whole thing memorized, because I like showing kind of the jank and how weird it is, but the loading screens going from each room is, like, 15 seconds. And it's just un-Let's Playable because of that. Like, every time, you know... It's kind of like a better version of Remothered Broken Porcelain, except for it's not like an actual game, it's like an adventure game. But it gives me flashes of Remothered Broken Porcelain, which is why I was like, oh, maybe I'll do this. Remember that game? The game of the year, 2020.
What game is it?
Remothered Broken Porcelain.
No, the game.
It's called Black Mirror.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at my PS4 section, and I was like, what is this? And it's not even expensive. Like, I've never seen it before, but it's only like $15, and I was like, alright. It takes place in Ireland in the early 1900s, and it's kind of like a...
Did I get everything?
Sherlock Holmes going around, that kind of thing.
Alright, where's the last one?
So about 10 minutes away from us, there's a business. They're like home designers or home builders. And their name is Sherlock Holmes. Like S-U-R-E-L-O-C-K Holmes. And every time I go past, I'm like, I hate you.
Oh, hi. How do I activate?
It's a mixture of me being like, I don't know, that's kind of good, and being like, I hate you. It's like every single like craft beer has to be like a play on words. Like you can't just be like Oktoberfest or whatever. It has to be like I don't know. I don't drink beer, but like
multi-bolt bros.
Like something like a malty beer, they would call it malt of the morning to you or something like that. Like something stupid like that. And every single one has to be that.
There's thousands of breweries making stuff, so they have to do some gimmick.
Top of the muffin to you. But yeah, it reminds me of that. Or like,
in fact, I'm drinking something right now out of Spencer's fridge that's old. It's called My Fruity Valentine.
There you go, My Fruity Valentine. There you go. Now you'll never. There you go. My Fruity Valentine. You got free 5 views of your what's a beer, right?
It's something.
God, I don't.
It's pretty good.
How in the world? What was that even from?
I think Nick dropped it.
Dude, it might have been there for like a year.
The only thing in there was unsweetened coffee at 8:30 p.m.
I'll get more. I'm sorry.
Or this beer, which I'm fine with. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, but I should have some sodas in there. That's my bad. My favorite soda of all time I can never find, which is the Walmart brand Diet Cream Soda, and it always just makes me sad. No.
Yes, sir. I remember this part. I tried to kill everything because I wasn't paying attention, and I was getting BTFO.
I like how they just straight up tell you. You can let some of these robots live. No. Is this the opening of Resident Evil Code Veronica? It's the exact same thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Man, the beginning of Code Veronica is so good, and then the game is... You know, it's fine.
I did a Let's Play of it.
Yeah.
I'm a stand for it.
It's good.
I want to be a Resident Evil 0 stan, but I just can't. Like, I want to be like that person who's like, oh, Zero's one of my favorite, just to be that person, but I can't.
I want to, because I was playing Zero when I did my I got the Platinum Trophy in the Resident Evil 0 HD thing for PS4. And then I was playing Zero for a bit. I was like, man, I really want to like this. This first train section is great. And then you get to the train facility and like the first little bit's fine. But like, oh my god, it's so tedious.
The mansion area is pretty cool, but every other area is so, like, drab and boring. And I feel like it all, blends in. Unlike some of the other games where, like, Resident Evil 3 is, like, Uptown, the Clock Tower, the Graveyard, you know, like, it's, like, specific spots. I feel like that game, it's just, like, you're always in the same place and it's always the same.
This is me, by the way.
Nothing personal, kid. Okay. Okay, Boomer. What are they doing? Oh, nice.
This controls really weirdly. Like, you can't... Like, I'm pushing directly left on the control stick, and that's how far he goes to the left and right.
I'm gonna question the structural integrity of this building, in so much that, damn, it's good.
Yeah, how in the world is it still standing? Thanks for the S with me fooling around.
This is one time I'm glad Ben's not here, because he would have made a reference to something. I just know he would have, and I would have been like, da 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 da.
Sounds fancy.
We're all thinking it. Don't say it.
Maybe we should invite Ben back.
I like Bordemus Optimus. Boredom Maximus.
So what's this got to do with me?
I'll be like, Ben, you gotta come back, but only if you continue your StarCraft, was he on Brood Wars? I mean, we're talking like 3-4 years ago at this point.
I don't think he got the Brood War. I forget if he started just vanilla or Brood War. That'd be cool. Actually, he might have just started Brood War.
I think he just started Brood War. But only if you do that. I'll be like, I'll tell you what. Okay. That's exactly what he would say. And then I'll be like, hey Nick, we drank all the beer that you left in my fridge a year and a half ago. You need to come back and put another 6-pack in so it can last 18 months. And by we, I mean Trev.
I had 1-year beers after a solid year.
I guess there's a couple more in there, huh? This fridge down here is only for drinks and Costco chicken bakes in the freezer.
That you just have to take upstairs and then eat them anyway.
Well, we don't really have room in the freezer upstairs because we're a American family of 4, and we have to keep extra food in the house before we clap. And being in the Northeast, every time it's going to be less than 40 degrees, we have to go get 40 loaves of bread.
What? Did you see that? He just had his rocket launcher. What is going on? Yeah, sure. I don't know why the game thought he had a shield up, but he just was holding a rocket launcher. Okay, I guess it's just a quality of them. I don't know. That is weird.
I think I said it I know I said it last sit down, but going into this game, I thought it was going to be exactly like that watermelon cutting thing, and it's so weird to see it, like, is kind of like that. I thought it was a dual stick game where all you did was use the one stick to move and the one stick to specifically slice.
Oh, so you legitimately thought that this game was the tech demo, and like that's what the game was?
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything about it.
Yeah, this game got super platinumized.
Is there a game like that I'm thinking of where, like, you use, it's like only stick combat? I'm trying to think if I've played something like that before.
I want to say there is, but...
It's not Blood Will Tell, because that came to my mind.
Red Steel is kind of like that, but I know that's not what you're talking about.
No, it's a non-waggle game.
Yeah.
Question of the part, if you're listening and you know of a game where, like, you use the right analog stick to, like, specifically attack like that, like you would press left to go left and right to go right. The closest thing I can think of off the top of my head, and this is really stupid, is MLB games. You use the right stick to swing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not what I'm thinking of, but... Yeah, I literally thought this game was the tech demo. I'm not disappointed, but, like... I thought in that situation...
Oh god, the frame rate, what is going on?
I thought in that situation, like the Zenzatsu, you would, like, have to, like, almost like a Nintendo DS game where you have to, like, draw it out almost, you know?
The main exit is sealed. I very much doubt you could get through there. The catwalk above you was connected to a corridor meant for transporting materials. You can take that to the elevator.
Remember the Nintendo DS? Remember that it had a couple games on it?
I really like the original DS. I think the 3DS is also a good console, but the 3DS, like, I want to like it more, but it's so low spec. Like, when you play it, it's like they were releasing games up until, like, 2018 on a 240p screen. It's just like, I cannot play this anymore. No.
It's just amazing that the DS has, like, 10-fold as many games as the 3DS. Like, 15-fold maybe. I don't know. Like, it's just crazy. I know that a lot of the stuff on the DS is just, like, crappy shovelware, but just... It's almost comparing the Wii to the Wii U. It's almost that level. Which, looking back on it, holy crap, Nintendo. When you were doing the Wii U and the 3DS, what were they thinking?
The craziest thing about the Wii U and the 3DS is that the 3DS came out in 2011 and had a notoriously bad launch. Like, it was such bad press for Nintendo, like, sales plummeted, there was no games for the system, and you remember that the 3DS originally launched for $250, and they price dropped it $80
Quickly.
In, like, less than a year. It was, like, a huge thing. Like, Iwata took, like, a huge salary cut, and, like, you'd think, like, they would learn their lesson, but then the Wii U came out in 2012 with no games again. It's like, what? I guess they had to do it because of shareholders. They just wanted to appease them, get the holiday console launch, but, like, what a horrible decision.
Dude, I remember the 3DS, let's see, the 3DS launch, I'll probably miss some. Spy Hunter 3D, Splinter Cell 3D, Pilot Wings 3D,
Street Fighter
3D, Steel Diver.
Pilot Wings, if you didn't say that.
I said Pilot Wings, yeah.
And, like, that's it.
I think that was Rayman 3D. I think
Yeah.
those were like the 6.
Rayman 3D, the 8th port of Rayman
I mean,
2.
dude, come on. Like Steel Diver, Pilot Wings. Like I know Pilot Wings was one of the first games out on the Super Nintendo, and I get that Nintendo uses it kind of as like a tech demo for the system, but that can't be like your biggest game. Like,
Yeah.
come on. Street Fighter, I kind of like the idea of the fact that you can just press the touchscreen to do like combos, but at the same point it's like, or to do moves, but at the same point it's like, dude, come
Yeah,
on.
like having a port of a fighting game is cool, but you can't have that as like your system seller, like day one system.
Do you know what game, speaking of the Wii U, do you know what game I heard is actually like a lot better than you would think is Zombie U? Like I don't think I've ever played the Wii U unless we were doing LPs, but I've heard from like multiple like online sources that Zombie U is actually a pretty fun game. So, for what it's worth, I mean it's not a system seller.
It's
but
one of the few Wii U games that actually like utilizes the gamepad in like a way that makes sense. No, I didn't mean that.
Looks like you'll just have to Zenzetsu them. But yeah. Anyone out there who has a Wii U, if you haven't picked up Zombie U, it's gotta be $10 or less anywhere you go. Remember when there was a Zombie U system? It was a bundle. I mean, it was still a black system, but... I totally forgot that I got the kids for their birthdays in April Oculus Quest 2 because someone was like, hey, I'm looking to sell one, and I was like, okay, yeah, because they were asking for it. I was like, yeah, I'll buy one. And I'm excited to play Resident Evil 4 on that if I don't
Did you buy that a while ago?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Have
did.
they used it at all?
No.
Okay.
I'm saving it for the kid's birthday. I literally
okay.
was just remembering it. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I bought that.
Makes sense.
Because I have it in the closet, and it's probably going to be one of those things I forget till after the birthday, and then I'm like, oh yeah, happy birthday. But yeah, I'm excited to play Resident Evil 4 and nothing else on it.
Resident Evil 7 would probably be pretty cool in VR too.
My god.
I don't know if that's even supportive of the Oculus though.
I will say, in comparison to the PSVR, the fact that the Oculus just needs a friggin' headset and 2 wands, it's the GOAT. Because the PS4 VR is, like, so ridiculous with all the cords and boxes, I don't know what you call them, processors, whatever. Like, it's just too much. Herp at Tofia.
Also, gotta love the elevator portion.
Classic.
Not in every single action game ever made,
What is this, Turtles in Time?
and it's not even over. It's like that's a mid-mission thing, but we're doing another mission on this stupid lift.
Oh my god, is it that, that boss from Shinra HQ? Like the H102 or whatever? What year is FF7 Remake Part 2 coming out?
I mean, they haven't even confirmed it as a thing at all, so it's gonna be like at least a year or two.
Sucks, because I
I
really...
mean, when did FF7 Remake get
Like-
announced?
announced? I don't know. A couple years before?
Or the first trailer, but it doesn't really count because FF7 Remake, we'll go into this more later, but the original build that they did, they almost scrapped all of it, and the newest build was only like a couple years dev time, so it doesn't really count.
For all things considered, I thought the game was really good, even though they only got a small amount of time.
Yeah, I like it.
And now every time I
It's not perfect, but honestly, when I went into the FF7 Remake, even though I bought it day one, and I had to buy a digital, which is like just a sin for me, I was still like kind of expecting it to be like, okay, how are they going to ruin FF7? And at the end, I was like, it was pretty good. Not perfect, but I liked it.
I think the wall market alone for me was the GOAT.
Yeah, Wall Market is a really good portion. I guess the only thing that really disappointed me is that, I mean, I knew that it was going to be Midgar only, but they really didn't add, like, a whole lot of... Why is this guy being so annoying? They didn't add a lot of, like, sectors. I was sort of expecting them to add, like, one big sector to explore. But they really didn't do that, other than the top portion where Jesse lives, but that's barely a section. It's so linear, and, like, it walks you through everything.
Well, they also made Eris Ultimate Waifu, so good for them.
Yeah, I think they played up the, I don't know, Cloud being an immediate Chad to both Tifa and Eris immediately. A little bit too much, but I still liked it. And overall, Cloud's characterization is, like, pretty good. I don't like when they did stuff like him not knowing what a high five is. Like, that's, like, a little bit too far in, like, the direction I didn't like. But other than that, I thought it was pretty good.
It's certainly the best since the original. I mean, Advent Children is awful for that, and Kingdom Hearts is not.
Yeah,
great.
I was expecting him to be, like, angsty and emotionless, even though he's, like, nothing like that in the original FF7. But I'd say the only thing that they kind of flanderized him with is just, like, him being, like, emotionally aloof. Seems like the biggest thing to get combat rank S is to do it quick and no damage. And those are like the two biggest things, because I like barely did anything in that section.
Right?